Another video, another episode, and another new livery for my Ferrari Road to Glory. Today we're here for the home race at Imola. We're going to run this special livery for this one and the next race at Monaco. So back-to-back races, and also we'll run it again at Monza and possibly a few others here and there. The last episode, guys, if you haven't seen it, link in the top right, Miami. We also run a new livery in that video. That's going to be our new base livery for the whole season. Shout out to Mark Felix once again, link down below. But let's get into it as we have spoilers ahead. So guys, go check out the last one and let's get into it. So as you can see, we have the first change of the series. We're going to reduce the fault types from high to standard, thus eliminating car mechanical failures. And yeah, we can hopefully put the last 3 race DNFs behind us and forget about it. Because of the last race and the last DNF yet again in Miami, we've gotten some extra R&D points, 320 to be precise, which we're going to spend very wisely, starting off with the ignition system, which has a pretty decent discount, and that's going to arrive before the next race in Spain. We're going to add to that by doing the wing mirrors, which also has a 9% discount, and we're going to try and get that on the car as soon as possible, hopefully before Monaco. Now, with those 2 upgrades done, we're going to go ahead and basically update the engine, which of course is an issue. We lost the MGK in Miami, so we're going to run a new one, and that brings us to Imola. Not just that, we have a bunch of updates, including 2 possible upgrades on the car this weekend, one of them which we've rushed, so we'll find out if it's arrived. The forecast is dry, but the question is, are the upgrades on the car? Yes, they are. The front downforce is the one that we rushed. It's a major one, and we have it on the car. Along with the weight reduction, it's going to mean we have a very strong package, and we had a bunch of upgrades already on the last episode, so our car has taken a real step forward in the last 2 races. And that does mean, if we look at the performance chart, we're closing the gap to Red Bull in a big way. McLaren also following our lead, along with Haas, bringing updates and making their cars even quicker. So McLaren not letting us go. But you can see at the bottom there, 3 consecutive P20s, which means we've dropped from 1st to 5th in the Drivers' Championship. Leclerc has pretty much double the points we have. However, we are leading the Constructors, but we're out for revenge. It's the home race for the team, and I want to get some points and get back to winning ways, because we kind of have to for the championship. This is round 6 of 23, so we're kind of, a quarter of the way through the season already. So we really need to start getting some W's and some podiums and just some good results to get back in the fight for the championship. So as you can see, practice went smooth. A decent bit of tyre wear. Fuel consumption also a bit higher than usual, but that's normal. There's a lot of gear changes here, a lot of slow, medium and fast corners. You can see the updates are working well. Leclerc went 2nd on mediums, we was in the top 13, and the car just felt quick. Now, the downside of improving the car and making it fast is that it also benefits our teammate, who is the championship leader. So Charles Leclerc is going to be a constant pest and a constant rival all season long. Either way, we're going to jump into qualifying and put everything behind us, and this is going to be the start of a new era. We have to try and get some results and maximize points over the next few races to get back in the fight. The next race, of course, is Charles' home race at Monaco, so that's going to be interesting. But here we are then, new suit, yet again, helmet, work in progress. I've seen your comments, guys. I'm working on updating my helmet, so that should be on the car very soon. But yeah, let's get to it. Into qualifying then, soft tyres on our car, nice fresh livery in the beautiful Italian sunshine, and we're going to try to get this one on pole, if not on the front row like in Miami when we've got a front row lockout. So currently closing out our first timed lap, making our way up to the line, and we're going to set a 1:13.3 and go P1 straight away, so setting the benchmark, and the car looks to be quick. Leclerc, however, responds with a 13.1 and goes even quicker. So as you can see right now, 1-2, we have the advantage in the last sector. Our big issue is sector 1. We're dropping quite a bit of time there, and to be fair, I know there's time to find. I was a bit cautious, a little bit safe on my first lap. So we're going to go again, and we're going to send it for a full-on push lap. Across the line we go, 13-0. We knock Leclerc off top spot. Is it enough? Yes, it is. And yet another front row lockout, like the last race in Miami, this time in reverse order, as we qualify on pole and Charles Leclerc gets second, Verstappen third. The big one is Perez down in P7. Bit of a disappointing qualifying from him. And then you got the McLarens, of course, improving their car. Lando P4, Piastri P6, Hamilton P5. So a bit of a mix-up grid, but crucially a 1-2 finish in qualifying. Can we get a 1-2 in the race? We're about to find out. Again, I'll say it again, we have to get points. It's a massive moment in the season for us. We've got to try and win this race and get back in the fight for the championship. So let's get into it and let's send it to the main event and hopefully a full bag of points at the end of it.
Welcome once again to the Autodromo Internazionale Enzo e Dino Ferrari. The clue's in the name. This is very much Ferrari home turf, and the locals will be out in force today to support their team in what we hope will be a magnificent spectacle of motorsport. On then to the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. 3.1 miles of track at Imola, featuring 19 turns, 9 to the right and 10 to the left. Remember that Imola differs from most other Formula One tracks as it's taken anti-clockwise. Let's hope nobody forgets that today. The exit from turn 18 will probably be the setup for many of today's overtakes, leading as it does into the longest straight on the circuit and its only DRS zone. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Martinez lines up on pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Norris, Hamilton, Oscar Piastri, Perez, Russell, Fernando Alonso, Gasly, Ocon, Albon, Magnussen, Stroll, Bottas, Joe, Hulkenberg, Sargent, Ricciardo, and Yuki Tsunoda. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box. Ant, it's fantastic to have you with us here, but I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the rundown into turn 1, a bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It will keep them focused on the moment and on their surroundings as we build towards the start of the Grand Prix.
Here we go then, time for the race. First place, P1, hopefully, for my sake, a nice, boring race from start to finish and get the win. One thing we know for certain, there will be no mechanical failures for us because we have now turned the setting off. Let's talk about strategy though, because this race should be interesting. It is a one-stop, but you can vary a little bit and try some different things. Because we're P1, I want to try and just, set the pace, break away, all that good stuff. We're going to start on mediums and then go to hards. The key thing here is fuel. Based off practice simulations, 53.0 kg is what practice said, the race runs. So we're running 0.6 more, which should be about right. Overall, confident. Setup changes have been made. Car is in the right window. I'm happy to work with Leclerc to try and get a 1-2 finish for the constructors, but ultimately I need to make sure I win myself. So yeah, ramble aside, let's get to it and let's send it. Prediction down below. Like and subscribe as always, it helps out the videos, and let's get racing. Right then, we're all on the same strategy, mediums all the way around, so fairly straightforward, fairly simple. We're just going to make sure we align a bit more aggressively, because P1 doesn't really have the best grid box here, so we're going to make sure we're facing the inside, like so. Right then, let's do it. Race time. Lights on. And away we go. Oh, what a start. We've absolutely dropped everyone. Verstappen with a poor start, Norris up to third. But we have raced away through the first chicane, nice and tidy. Right, good stuff. We've got a bit of engine wear to deal with. Bit of a missed apex there. Got to readjust for tyres and fuel load. Leclerc trying to pressure. We're just going to take our time and take it easy through Tosa. Not going to rush into anything. Leclerc having a bit of a look. We close the door right in his face. Just going to try and get comfortable with this race setup. Nicely done there through Acqua Minerale. Now up towards the Variante Alta chicane. Beautiful. Hitting the curbs at the right angle, and that's going to give us a bit of breathing space to Leclerc as we keep the gap around 6/10. Just got to make sure we have a good exit out of Ravazza, and that way we'll be okay on the pit straight. I think we're a bit high on wing compared to the AI. We're about to find out though. Using some battery. Actually, to be fair, we're alright. We're actually alright. So that's good to note. We're matching Leclerc on the straights. That's a good sign. So we can compete on the straights. Let's try and break DRS. That's going to be the first objective here. So we'll use a bit of battery to try and achieve that goal. And there we go. We've got the gap to Leclerc. There's only one DRS zone around here, which is of course the massive pit straight. So we'll get one more lap to try and break.
DRS is being enabled this lap. You can use DRS when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
Good pace early on. Hopefully we have no fuel troubles. I have it, you know, calculated pretty well, but I just hope we haven't got the calculation wrong based off practice runs. Leclerc had a poor exit out of Acqua Minerale, and we've nailed the chicane, which is going to mean we've broken DRS. So Leclerc can entertain himself with Norris. Piastri is a little bit further back, so it's just Leclerc v Norris right now, so that's fine. We can do our own race and try to open a gap, so let's push on. Let's vanish. Peace out. Norris through on Leclerc. First warning. Norris now P2. He overtook Leclerc on the last lap around. And to be fair, he's trying to make a push, so we might have to use some battery here. I'm trying to see if I can save battery, but that was a horrible chicane. That's going to put me in trouble. So Norris making a move now and pressuring big time. Wow, that's been a horrible half a lap since that track limit. Norris is going to be getting past here. No point in even wasting battery. This straight's way too long. So Lando into P1 within a lap, passes both of us. We'll get him back very soon. We're just going to sit behind the recharge for now. Oh, we've dropped Leclerc out of DRS there. Had a really good chicane, unlike the last lap. And we're now on the back of Lando again, so we're going to pass him if we get the run. I'm not going to use any battery, so we'll see what the McLaren's like in terms of straight line speed. Here we go then. Through we go, pulling alongside and ahead. Lando tried to challenge on the brakes, but our way through. Slight moment, but we retake P1. I'm going to try and drop Norris here. I don't think I will though. Nope, gap 9/10, not quite enough. Brings Leclerc back into play. So a little 3-car scrap right now, but we're pulling away from P4 and beyond, so we're locking in this podium. Nice final 2 corners, so we'll just use a bit of battery here to try and keep a bit of a gap to Norris. Okay, there we go. We've got a bit of peace and quiet. We've managed to break DRS. Leclerc also got past Norris on that last lap. So, happy days. Let's try and keep them at DRS range now. Now we're starting to get some distance between us. Now the gap's starting to open. They've stopped working together as efficiently, and now they're actually losing time.
Information on Albon for you. Right, they've got a serious car issue. It looks like they're retiring.
No safety cars. Albon retires, but yeah, the two behind are starting to lose time now because they're going side by side into the first chicane. So you'll see in the delta, they're just bleeding time. They're swapping places every lap. Hence why I'm not always talking about it, always covering it, but they are losing time now in a big way. And we've got a second warning, so I need to be careful now. I had 2 warnings in my league race here the other day, so let's keep it clean and focus. Oh, big moment then. Norris has broken Leclerc. So the McLarens are for real. Their upgrade package is serious. Piastri and P4 battling with Verstappen at the minute, but the McLarens have arrived by the looks of it. I wonder if Leclerc got damage. Maybe in some of their battling. He's now 2 seconds away and drifting. And the gap is growing, so I think Leclerc might have got slight damage. Right, we're going to box. Good first stint. This is our scheduled pit stop lap. I've been pushing quite hard on this in lap. There's a sign. Rear tyres are pretty shattered. If we look at the MFD, you can see 62 on the right rear. We had the warning come up. Leclerc has damage, confirmed. He's battling with Verstappen and Piastri, so he's in trouble. We get held for Norris there for a split second, so we are going to lose a bit of that progress we made on the in lap. So fair play McLaren, well timed on the stop. We're going to rejoin though. Leclerc staying out with damage. He probably won't get it fixed in the pit stop, I don't think, so it could be a race where he might drift out the points eventually, which is huge.
Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross onto the track.
Which is huge for our championship, but bad news for the constructors. Anyway, we'll rejoin behind Hulkenberg and Alonso. Trying to see if I can have a look at Hulkenberg here. Not able to go through at the Villeneuve chicane. We'll try into Tosa. Around the outside, this is costing us valuable time, but those are the cards we've been dealt. We've lost over a second to Norris already, so all that hard work on the in-lap has gone to waste and all the battery with it. Leclerc in the pit lane, along with a bunch of others. Alonso now directly ahead of us. You can see Norris is only 2 seconds adrift. He's not going to have DRS as Hulkenberg pits. Ideally, I'd love to put Alonso in between us to kind of cost him some time. We just clear Fernando before turn 1 so we can take the racing line. And now we have to push. This is a lap we have to try and give it some pace to try and open the gap back up to Norris. I think Alonso got damage. I moved across. I felt nothing in the 4C back, but he's bleeding time. So I wonder if maybe his end plate hit my right rear. Either way, it's given us the gap to Norris. So it works both ways. Now we've benefited from the traffic. So in the end, we're actually going to pull away more than what we were. So it's worked out for us in the end. Wasn't my plan to give Alonso damage. I didn't feel anything. I thought I was ahead, but hey ho, we'll take it. We've now got a decent gap as Alonso pits. On Stroll ahead, and he pits. Alonso pit on the last lap, so as expected. That gives us P1, clean air, and currently trying to save battery. Fuel's going to be perfect. We've managed to get that spot on. Lando closing a little bit, but not enough. So at the minute, we're looking pretty decent as Perez sets the benchmark in P5. There's a big scrap for the podium between Hamilton and Verstappen, Piastri and Perez. Then behind that, Leclerc versus Russell. Leclerc probably holding Russell up at the moment. So I think Russell may well join that scrap. They're losing a lot of time battling every lap, but 3 teams battling for a podium place. Me and Lando are pretty much locked in. We're setting identical lap times at this stage of the race. I'm much happier in this tyre than I was in the medium. My pace isn't super good. Like, I can't go for a fastest lap, but the AI are extremely just inefficient and dirty in wall-to-wall combat around here. They lose so much time battling, and that's how we've generated the bulk of the gap.
Okay, we've been given a time penalty. It will go against our finishing time at the end of the race. Get your head down and let's get it done.
Well, bit of late drama. I was cruising. Probably lost focus, to be fair, just cruising so much. So we're going to have to just lock in now for the final few laps and make sure Lando doesn't get within 3 seconds. So we have a 1.8 gap as it stands. We've just entered the first phase, so let's try and keep it that way. Luckily we've got a nice bit of charge we can push if necessary. We're going to save that in case the gap drops and we need to deploy everything on a lap. I tried to go for a fast lap, didn't quite work out, used all the battery on that one, just about matched personal best. We've got this window wrapped up. This tyre's way better than the medium for me this race. We've had much better pace once we've entered the first phase. The battling behind's been crazy. They're losing so much time. Leclerc also holding up a mini train of his own behind him for P9. So everyone's just basically losing time. So Lando's been our only rival, and we dealt with him in the first stint. Here we go then. Last lap. Lando now pushing, but too little, too late. It's going to be a great win for us today. Una grande vittoria per i tifosi di Ferrari. Allora, we win in Imola.
Thank you. I need a moment.
Oh, superb driving. That is the race win, my friend. Well done.
And that's it then for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. And what a sensational victory they've managed to pull off here. Talk to me, Ant. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
Well, they certainly stood out as a driver with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers.
And here we are, a team that is no stranger to the podium, taking their place on top once again. A sublime race today, and a stunning win for Ferrari.
Well, great result in Imola, great win, really good performance. We managed it well, even with the penalty. We convert the pole into a win, and that's exactly what we had to do following on from the horrific run of reliability in the last 3 races. Charles Leclerc holds on to P9, losing out to Ocon by 1/10 of a second on the last lap of the race. Further down, Piastri finishes P7, losing out to the Mercedes and the Red Bulls right at the end, so something must have happened there. Perez nicks 3rd after no point running in 3rd place, nicks it from Verstappen, and Lando finishes in 2nd place. So there is your order. Alonso with the fast lap of the Grand Prix and the extra point, although outside the top 10, so no point for him in this occasion. In the standings, we cut the deficit to 23 points, and that's a bit more like it, and that gets us back in the mix. Leclerc, the first driver to 100 points in the championship. In the constructors, we're still first, and we extend our lead over Red Bull, and the gap is now 18 points. So yeah, the key takeaway for me, McLaren are back. McLaren look to be quick, so we'll see how that develops. This is 2023 on paper, so very much like the real season. McLaren upgrading, developing fast, and closing the gap to the top team, which in this case is Ferrari, not Red Bull. Anyway guys, cheers for watching. As always, a big shout out to the channel members for supporting. Like the video and subscribe guys, absolutely important for this to do well on the algorithm. And yeah, as always, a big shout out to the members. Always check out the 2 videos on screen guys, those are going to be fun to watch, go check them out. But yeah guys, just watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, and that's goodbye from me. Ciao.